Right, so next team to run is the Spain 4 team. So first to run will be Carol Quadros, running Doc, an Australian sheepdog. So obviously Doc decided it was time to go. Carried off and has picked up an elimination for the tunnel entry rather than the dog walk at number 5. So as you saw there, and as I know I have said before, the first dog and handler combination are able to lead out at the start, well, even though Doc didn't actually let the handler do that. But the others have to start their dogs from behind the first jump once they've done the baton change. So coming back now to the A-frame and sending the dog out around the final 4 obstacles. And handing over to Biash Aubach, running Nuka, who is a Pasta Pyreneo, which I must admit is not a breed I've heard of before. So a nice dog walk and coming through the combination at the top. Biash sending the dog back into the tunnel and now across this and into the tunnel at the top. Coming down around. Nice entry into the weaving poles there. And now coming right back up to the A-frame. And out around the final 4 obstacles. So ready to pick up and doing the baton change now. We have Mark Rabada running Renoa, a Border Collie. So straightening the dog up nicely there for the dog walk. Obviously a very energetic and enthusiastic collie, this one. Making Mark work quite hard to attract his attention and get him going to the right obstacle next. Beautiful entry into the weaving poles there, and Mark having plenty of time to do a blind switch at the end of the weaves, and a nice catch there to bring the dog sharply back towards the A-frame. Just 3 obstacles to go now. There we go, so that is Spain 4 and a time of 148.817, 1 clear round, 1-5 and an elimination. So keeping with Spain, we have the Spain 3 team now. And first to run will be Miriam Garcia running Beauty, a Border Collie. So just an update for you. The leading time at the moment is 1:23.908, and that is the England 2 team. So the dog now up and over the dog walk, going through this slalom 6-7-8 combination at the top before pulling back round to the tunnel. Miriam directing the dog and then taking off the downhill run towards the weaving poles and then crossing behind once the dog is inside the poles and safely committed to the obstacle. Coming back to the A-frame, so just 4 obstacles to go now. Oh, but picking up a pole and then a refusal. So now handing over to Matteo Moreno and a dog called Maui, who is a Carrera Leone. So nicely through this combination at the top and about to pull back down into the tunnel. You can see the handler using his hands to attract the dog's attention, getting that connection back as they work their way through the weaving poles. Nice blind at the end onto the seesaw and catch to turn the dog back onto the A-frame. So just 3 to go now. And Matteo is handing over to Rachel Stevens, who's an honorary Brit, well, an honorary Spanish person, I should say, as she's actually English and comes from the Wirral. But they have already picked up an elimination, unfortunately. So Beep very keen to take the tunnel rather than the dog walk in this instance. But I'm sure they're both thoroughly enjoying their time in the main ring here. I have to say, running a dog in the main ring is a fantastic experience. I've done it myself, not very recently, but I can remember the adrenaline and the fantastic experience that we had on the times that I was in the main ring. So just 2 to go now. There we go. So a combined time of 143.128, 1 clear, 10 faults and an elimination. And that was for Spain 3. Right, now, next into the arena we have the distinctive orange of the Netherlands team. And I'm going to have to apologise in advance because the handwriting is quite difficult to read, so I may be making a complete mess of the names. But first to run will be Truus Voschart, running Evie, a Border Collie. So just a pause here while that seesaw is repegged down. Does seem to have been travelling with a few dogs. So just a reminder that at this stage we're about halfway through the competition. And at this stage, the winning time, or the winning team, is England 2 with a time of 123.908. And now here we are ready to get going again with the Netherlands 4 team. So the handler doing a double blind there to straighten the dog into the tunnel. Straightening up very nicely and very confidently onto the dog walk. Picking up a pole on the middle of that 3 combination at number 7. Sending the dog up the top. And let's see what she makes of this weave entry. Yeah, another dog to fall foul of that. And being eliminated now as the handler carried on, even though the dog missed the weave entry. But more important to keep the dog happy and running well. So next to run is Michelle Lazaroms, running Fire, the Border Collie. So I'm sure that it picked up 5 there on the dog walk. And an elimination for taking the wrong side of number 8. So straightening up the dog nicely there for the weaves. Nice solid seesaw contact and a looping turn back towards the A-frame, giving the dog a very nice line for the entry. And another pole there at number 17. And the final jump also down. So the last dog and handler is Hein von Bommel, running Mouse, the Border Collie. They've picked up just a refusal there. The dog turned a bit of a wide turn around that jump at the top. And another dog that doesn't like that weave entry, so going back to have another chance at it now. And unfortunately that team have actually been disqualified from the event because the first dog to run didn't finish the weaves. So beyond elimination it actually totals to disqualification. Right, so the next team under starters orders is the Rest of the World 3 team. And this is a Swiss-Belgium team, and the dogs are all from the same kennel. So first to run will be Marcel Magnin running Celtic, the Border Collie, or it could be Celtic. So the dog going in nicely into the tunnel at the top. Nice solid down on the dog walk, but the dog taking a bit of a spin after number 6, and then taking the pole at number 7 for 5 faults. Coming back down to the weave entry, the dog's shortening its stride beautifully. Now up to the seesaw, turning back to the A-frame. So just 4 to go now. As Marcel hands over to Erwin Schofflen, running Fever, the Border Collie. Nice blind switch at the top there to send the dog nicely into the tunnel. And straightening the dog beautifully onto the dog walk there, even though it looked like it was thinking about that tunnel. So now, this time through the tunnel and up to the top, coming down this downhill run towards the weaves. Beautiful weaving pole entry there. And the handler switching behind the dog. Now just another good rescue there, bringing the dog back up to the seesaw. Over the A-frame now, so down just the last 4 jumps to go now. And Erwin will be handing over to Claudia Shaw-Magnin, running Gwenda. Oh, and they've been joined in the ring by another dog. That's elimination, yes. Obviously, one of them very keen to join the others. So, obviously that's a team elimination, but we're just not sure whether she gets to continue the run. So we've established that she should actually complete the run. The team has been eliminated, but there's no reason why she doesn't get to have her moment in the spotlight. So going through this combination up the top. Top jump number 8, and now sending back into the tunnel. And another one having trouble with that weaving pole entry. And now around the last few jumps. Right, so we just need to get the timer reset. There we go. Okay, so the next team that we have is Rest of the World 4. And as you can see, we've got Lisa Frick is first to run with Sense of Delight Buddy. And Lisa will be able to catch her breath briefly before running the third dog as well. The dog running past at number 3 and just picking up a refusal. Nicely over the dog walk. Up through this slalom, the nice beautiful sharp turn at number 8, back to the tunnel. And Lisa shaping that cross from one tunnel to jump to tunnel very nicely, and a beautiful solid weave entry there. There we go, and coming back up to the A-frame now. So just 4 to go. There we go. Now Lisa hands over to Mona Greffenstein, running Infinity Light Come On Key. But an elimination there at number 3 as the dog picked up the back of number 3 instead of the front. And then the dog bailed out going up the dog walk. A stunning running dog walk there as it comes down around through the slalom. Back to the tunnel, crossing through the middle, and now down back and turning back to the weaving poles. Mona doing a blind cross at the top. Dog coming down the seesaw and a lovely ketchka into the turn to the A-frame. And it doesn't look like Lisa has even broken a sweat. Very fit handler as she starts off now with extra jackpot. And that was a stunning line she got there, up 1, 2, 3 and into the tunnel. Oh, but the dog just had too much momentum, taking it back past 6 and picking up an elimination for the wrong side of the jump there. But you can see the energy that Lisa's putting into this, handling this dog. Now she's lovely blind switch at the top of the weaves and down over the seesaw. Up and over the A-frame, now just 3 to go. So fantastic time there of 125.763, but sadly with 2 eliminations and a refusal. Right, next into the arena we have the Spain 1 team. And first to run will be Alejandro Herrera running Nana, the Border Collie. So the dog decided that it was ready to go. Nice straightening of effort of Alejandro to get the dog back onto the dog walk. Up around the top. Sending up to the top tunnel there. Now coming back to this weaving pole entry, which he nailed completely. Coming down now to the seesaw. Coming back up to the A-frame now. And the dog barking its enjoyment as Alejandro hands over to Lydia Gonzalez running Arwen, the Border Collie. So Lydia managing to actually lead out a little bit and straighten the dog nicely for the dog walk. Now sending it up around this combination at the top, the 6, 7, 8. And back to the tunnel, to the jump to the tunnel at the top. And that dog took a very different line towards the weaves and I think got a better entry as a result. So working nicely around this last combination. And Lydia is going to hand over to Enrique Herrera, who I'm guessing, well, is obviously related to Alejandro. But the dog has picked up number 10 there, unfortunately, for an elimination. A lovely solid dog walk there. Up through the top, turning the dog back down to the tunnel. And across the middle section, up to the top. And the dog seeing that entry very nicely for the weaves. And Enrique able to switch at the end of the poles. So coming back up and around the outside. So a great time of 131.276, but sadly with that elimination for the last dog.